Leo loved summer. School was out. He could explore all day. This summer, Leo visited his grandparents. Their house was old, full of secrets. One day, Leo explored the attic. Dusty boxes, cobwebs everywhere. He saw a wooden chest. It was tucked away in a corner. Leo opened the chest. Inside, he found a cloth bundle. He unwrapped it carefully. A silver medallion lay in the folds. It was round and heavy. Strange symbols etched on its surface. Leo had never seen anything like it. Leo turned the medallion over in his hands. It felt cold against his skin. A shiver ran up his arm. The attic suddenly felt different. The air, thick and still. Leo felt a presence, unseen, watching him. Leo showed the medallion to his grandfather. His grandfather gasped. "Where did you find this?" he asked, voice trembling. Leo explained about the attic, the chest. His grandfather sat down, deep in thought. "This medallion," he said finally, "belonged to your ancestors." His voice was hushed, full of awe. He told Leo stories of their family, stories of a forgotten world, a hidden city, a place only accessible through a portal. The medallion, his grandfather explained, was the key. It held the power to open the portal. He warned Leo of the dangers. The forgotten world was full of wonders, yes, but also perils. He made Leo promise to be careful. Leo held the medallion tight. His heart pounded. He was scared, excited. He wanted to see this forgotten world. He wanted to walk in the footsteps of his ancestors. He knew he had to be brave. He went back to the attic. The air felt heavy again. The medallion grew warm in his hand. It started to glow. The symbols on its surface pulsed with light. Leo felt a pull towards the back of the attic. He walked towards the wall, drawn by an invisible force. The air shimmered, like a heat haze. The wall seemed to dissolve. In its place, a swirling vortex of colors. Leo took a deep breath, stepped forward. Leo closed his eyes as he stepped into the swirling portal. He felt a strange sensation, like falling but floating at the same time. He opened his eyes. He was surrounded by blinding light. Then, just as abruptly, it faded. Leo gasped. He stood on a grassy hill. Before him, a breathtaking sight. A city of shimmering towers, connected by bridges of sparkling crystal. Waterfalls cascaded down mountains in the distance. The air hummed with a strange energy. Leo took a step. The grass beneath his feet was a vibrant green, unlike any he had seen before. The air smelled sweet like exotic flowers. He was in the forgotten world, the world of his ancestors. Leo descended the hill. He approached the city, his heart pounding. As he drew closer, he saw people. They were dressed in clothes unlike any he had seen. Flowing robes adorned with intricate embroidery. They moved with a grace he had never witnessed. They stopped and stared at him, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. Leo realized he must look strange to them, in his jeans and t-shirt. He tried to smile, to show he meant no harm. One of them, a woman with kind eyes and a warm smile, approached him. She spoke in a language he didn't understand, yet somehow, he knew what she was saying. "Welcome," she said to Etheria. Leo spent days in Etheria. He learned their language, their customs. He discovered his ancestors were not just inhabitants of this world, they were its protectors. They guarded the balance between Etheria and his own world. He learned of the dangers, too, creatures of shadow and darkness, lurking in the outskirts of Etheria. They were drawn to the medallion's power, seeking to use it for their own evil purposes. Leo trained with the Etheria warriors, learning to fight, to defend. He faced trials, tests of his courage and strength. He battled fearsome creatures, solved ancient riddles. He learned the true meaning of bravery, of sacrifice. He learned what it meant to be a protector. One night, beneath the glow of Etheria's 3 moons, Leo was led to a hidden chamber deep within the city. The air was thick with mystery, and the ancient stones seemed to whisper secrets of old. Leo's heart pounded with anticipation as he descended the winding staircase, each step echoing through the silent corridors. He had heard tales of this chamber, a place where the past and present converged, but never did he imagine he would find it himself. There, on a pedestal, sat a glowing orb. Its light pulsed gently, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The orb seemed to beckon him closer, its glow intensifying with each step he took. Leo felt a strange connection to this artifact, as if it was calling out to him, waiting for him to unlock its secrets. As he approached, images flickered to life within it. Scenes from a time long past played out before his eyes, showing battles fought and victories won. The orb revealed the history of his ancestors, their struggles and their triumphs. Leo watched in awe, feeling the weight of their legacy settle upon his shoulders. He saw his ancestors, their faces etched with determination, their eyes filled with the same courage he felt within himself. Each face told a story of bravery and sacrifice, of unwavering resolve in the face of adversity. Leo felt a surge of pride and a deep sense of responsibility as he gazed upon them. He heard their voices, whispering words of wisdom, of warning. Their messages were clear, guiding him on his path. They spoke of the trials he would face, the choices he would have to make, and the strength he would need to summon. Their voices were a chorus of encouragement and caution, blending together in a harmonious symphony. They spoke of the responsibility he carried, the importance of protecting both worlds. They reminded him that his actions would ripple through time, affecting not just his own fate, but the fate of countless others. Leo understood the gravity of his mission, the delicate balance he had to maintain. They told him he was ready, that they believed in him. Their faith in his abilities filled him with confidence. He felt their support, their unwavering belief that he was the one destined to bridge the gap between the worlds. Leo knew he could not let them down. Leo emerged from the chamber, forever changed. The experience had transformed him, imbuing him with a sense of purpose and clarity. He was no longer the same boy who had entered. He was now a guardian, a protector of ancient wisdom and future hope. He carried the weight of his lineage, the knowledge of his destiny. The symbols and stories of his ancestors were now etched into his very being, guiding his every step. Leo felt a profound connection to his heritage, a bond that transcended time and space. He was no longer just a boy who stumbled upon an ancient artifact. He was a protector, a guardian, a bridge between worlds. With the glowing orb in his possession, Leo knew his journey was just beginning. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but he was ready to face them, armed with the wisdom of his ancestors and the strength of his own spirit. The time came when the creatures of darkness made their move. The city of Etheria, once a beacon of light and hope, now found itself under siege. The skies darkened and an eerie silence fell over the streets as the shadows began to creep in. The people of Etheria could feel the tension in the air, a palpable sense of dread that seemed to choke the very life out of the city. They attacked Etheria, their shadows slithering through the city's streets. These creatures, born of darkness, moved with a sinister grace, their presence casting a long, cold shadow over the once vibrant city. Buildings that once stood tall and proud now seemed to cower under the weight of the encroaching darkness. Leo, armed with his newfound skills and the courage of his ancestors, stood ready to fight. He had trained for this moment, honing his abilities and learning the ancient ways of his people. The glowing medallion he wore around his neck was a symbol of his heritage, a beacon of hope in the face of overwhelming darkness. He fought alongside the Etheria warriors, their combined strength pushing back against the encroaching darkness. The battle raged on, a fierce and desperate struggle for the soul of the city. The warriors of Etheria, though outnumbered, fought with a ferocity born of love for their home and a determination to protect their people. The fate of Etheria, the balance of both worlds, hung in the balance. Every clash of swords, every burst of light against shadow was a testament to the stakes of this battle. The city itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see which side would emerge victorious. Leo, guided by the spirit of his ancestors, fought his way to the heart of the city. He moved with purpose, each step bringing him closer to the source of the darkness. The whispers of his ancestors filled his mind, their wisdom and strength guiding him through the chaos. There, he faced the leader of the shadow creatures, a being of pure darkness. This entity, a manifestation of all that was evil and corrupt, stood as the final obstacle between Leo and the salvation of Etheria. The air crackled with tension as the two prepared to clash. The battle was fierce, a clash of light and darkness. Each strike, each parry, was a dance of power and will. The glowing medallion around Leo's neck pulsed with energy, its light cutting through the darkness like a beacon of hope. Leo, drawing on the strength of his lineage, the love for his newfound family, fought with everything he had. His determination was unwavering, his resolve unbreakable. He could feel the presence of his ancestors, their spirits lending him strength and courage. He raised the medallion, its light banishing the shadows, weakening the creature. The darkness recoiled, its power waning in the face of the medallion's radiant glow. Leo knew that this was the moment of truth, the final stand that would determine the fate of Etheria. With a final surge of energy, Leo defeated the creature of darkness. His sword, glowing with an ethereal light, sliced through the shadowy figure, dispersing it into 1,000 wisps of smoke. The battle had been long and grueling, testing Leo's strength and resolve to their limits. But in this moment of triumph, He felt a surge of power and clarity, knowing that he had fulfilled his destiny. A wave of light erupted from the medallion, pushing back the shadows, restoring peace to Etheria. The medallion, an ancient artifact passed down through generations, had finally revealed its true power. As the light spread, it cleansed the land of the dark curse that had plagued it for centuries. The once desolate and fear-stricken land began to bloom with life and color, a testament to the medallion's magic. The city, bathed in the warm glow of the medallion, shimmered with renewed life. Buildings that had been crumbling and abandoned now stood tall and proud, their facades gleaming in the sunlight. The streets, once empty and silent, were now filled with the sounds of laughter and music. The people of Etheria could finally breathe easy, their hearts lightened by the promise of a brighter future. The people of Etheria cheered, their faces filled with gratitude and relief. They gathered in the town square, embracing one another and celebrating their newfound freedom. Children danced in the streets, their laughter echoing through the air. Elders who had lived through the darkest times wept tears of joy, knowing that their prayers had finally been answered. The sense of community and unity was stronger than ever before. Leo, exhausted but triumphant, looked at the medallion in his hand. It had been his guiding light, his source of strength throughout the journey. As he gazed at it, he felt a deep connection to his ancestors, who had entrusted him with this sacred mission. The weight of their legacy was heavy, but it was a burden he was proud to bear. It pulsed once, then dimmed, its light fading. The medallion had served its purpose, and now it needed to rest. Leo knew that its power was not gone, merely dormant, waiting for the next time it would be called upon. He carefully placed it back into its pouch, knowing that it would always be a part of him. He knew his time in Etheria was coming to an end. The journey had changed him in ways he could not yet fully understand. He had faced his fears, discovered his true strength, and forged bonds that would last a lifetime. As he stood on the hill overlooking the city, he felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. He said his goodbyes, promising to return one day. The people of Etheria gathered to see him off, their eyes filled with gratitude and admiration. They knew that Leo was more than just a hero. He was a symbol of hope and resilience. As he embraced his friends, he felt a deep sense of belonging and love. He stepped back through the portal, the swirling colors pulling him back to his own world. The transition was both exhilarating and bittersweet. He knew that he was leaving behind a part of himself, but he also knew that his journey was far from over. The portal closed behind him, sealing the connection between the two worlds. He carried Etheria in his heart, the legacy of his ancestors woven into his soul. The experiences and lessons he had gained would guide him in the days to come. He felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination, knowing that he had a role to play in both worlds. He was a keeper of secrets, a guardian of two worlds, forever changed by his adventure. The knowledge and wisdom he had gained were invaluable, and he knew that he had a responsibility to protect and share them. He stood at the threshold of a new beginning, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. His journey had just begun. With a heart full of hope and a spirit unyielding, Leo set out on a new path, ready to embrace the unknown and continue his legacy.